on a serious topic today. We're going to talk about some serious, very in-depth kind of things. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a trigger warning, if you will, to anybody who may suffer from any type of mental illness, any type of self-esteem, any kind of negative anything toward themselves. If you've suffered from bullying, if you suffer from anxiety or depression, if you have a negative connotation associated with suicide or anything of that nature, this is my trigger warning. This is going to be a really serious video. It's going to be a really tough topic to talk about, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. It just does. There's really no other way of explaining it. It needs to be talked about because it's a taboo thing, and people, I don't know if they think that it just doesn't exist, or if they're afraid that they're going to be judged for talking about something like this, or if they're ashamed. I'm not really sure, but I want to talk about it. As somebody who suffers from anxiety and mild depression, it sucks. It's hard to deal with, and it's really hard to explain to somebody who doesn't go through it. The best way that I know how to describe it is everything all at once, but at the same time, nothing. Like, there's so much going on in your brain, but at the same time, it's just such a loud silence. And you may be in a crowd of millions of people, but you can't hear them. They can't hear you. You're screaming and nobody can hear you. Nobody can help you. That's the way that I would describe it. And there are so many people in the world who suffer from this, who deal with it on a daily basis, who are afraid to seek help for it because it's such a hush-hush kind of situation, kind of thing that they're dealing with. And I want to break that stigma. I want to break the shame associated with mental illness, because in my mind, mental health is as important, if not more important, than physical health. Because your brain is who you are. I mean, yeah, you could be in the best shape of your entire life and running marathons and eating healthy and all of this stuff, but if you're in a bad place mentally, none of that matters. If you think negatively of yourself, if you deal with other people who think negatively of you, if it's something that you can't help, because a lot of times mental illness is not something that can be helped. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's nobody's fault. And that's, I think, what people don't understand, is that it's not our fault. And it's not something that we can just shut off, just like that. Sorry about that, I got a phone call. But that's not how it works. That's not how mental illness works. You can't just shut it off. It's not an on and off switch. It's not a button that you can press. Nobody wants to talk about it, but I want to talk about it. First of all, I want to talk about bullying and teenage bullying, to be more specific, in high school, because it's a big deal. And I feel like that's where a lot of people first realize that they may have a mental illness. Whether you are the bullyee or the bullier, I don't know, that probably doesn't make any sense, but I'm sure you know what I mean. Whether you're the one that's doing the bullying or you're the one that's being bullied, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And what I've noticed is that the ones who are doing the bullying are the ones that have a lot going on. Not to say that the ones that are being bullied don't have stuff, happening, but there's a reason that people pick on other people. They may be jealous, which is a big one, especially for you girls out there. If another girl is picking on you, 9 times out of 10, I can guarantee it's because she's jealous of you. But they may have stuff going on at home. They may have stuff in their family that they're dealing with. They may feel inadequate themselves. So in order to cope with that, misery loves company, what are they going to do? They're going to turn around and make somebody else feel miserable and down on their level with them. So they have a way to say, okay, well, I'm going to make you feel worse than I do, so I feel better about myself. And that mentality is destructive, not only to yourself, but to the person that you're doing it to. And a lot of times, you don't realize the magnitude of your words and your actions toward other people. These days, this current time that we live in is especially subjective to this, because every time that I get on Facebook, every time that I get on Twitter, every time that I get on another YouTube video, every time that I get on any kind of social media that allows interaction, there's always people in the comments section who are finding something negative to say about the material that they are seeing. And regardless of what it is, it could be the most positive thing in the world, preaching about self-love and acceptance and love thy neighbor and just the best thing in the world, but there's always going to be somebody who's going to say something negative about it. The biggest culprit, like I mentioned, social media. Teenagers are so connected to Facebook, to Instagram, to Twitter, to Snapchat, to any forms of social media that they can get their hands on. They gravitate towards it, and that's their entire life. They're always focused on taking good pictures, or writing the funniest quotes on their walls, or having the most tagged pictures. That was my thing when I was younger, is I would see all of these people that I went to school with, and all of the pictures that they were tagged in, and compare it to the ones that I was tagged in, and I felt like I didn't have as good of a social life as they did, because I wasn't tagged in as many pictures as this other girl was. And it's damaging mentality, because it made me feel like I was inadequate, like I was lesser than they were. And it was insecurity. I'll be the first person to tell you that I have severe insecurities about so many things, and we'll get into that later on. But right now, I really want to focus on bullying and how damaging it is. Because you don't know, like I said earlier, you don't know what somebody's going through in their life. You don't know what they deal with or what goes on in their head. So words have consequences regardless of if you're the one saying them or who you're saying them to. I hesitated in bringing this up, but I feel like it's very important. I said that I would never watch this show because, I cry over commercials on television. I cry over everything. I'm an ugly. I'm sure you guys have seen the Kim Kardashian ugly cry face. Yeah, I have that. And normally when I know that I'm going to watch something that's going to be destructive to my feels, I do it alone, or late at night so nobody can see me crying. But I decided that I was going to watch 13 Reasons Why. And I figured, because I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm going to be 30 soon, so I'll let you guys do that math. But I'm not a teenager anymore. And I feel like it was so long ago when I was that I was a little bit out of touch with how things are and the things that teenagers deal with. And so this was, according to the reviews that I've seen, I was sitting on my legs and they were falling asleep, excuse me. I feel like I was out of touch with teenagers and the things that they do in school and their interaction and all of this stuff. Like, I'm a 90s child. I know nothing. So I thought, what better way than to watch the show because it's relevant and it has mixed reviews. But the ones that I saw were very constructive for my way of thinking. And it just goes to show, those of you who haven't seen it, I'm going to try not to give you any spoilers. But I do recommend watching it, whether you watch it, parents, whether you watch it and use it as an open dialogue for your children, or teenagers, whether you watch it, teachers. I highly recommend you watching this show. There are a couple inaccuracies that I noticed, but it gives a good message. And that message is, one little thing can cause everything to spiral out of control. One tiny, insignificant thing can cause the biggest impact. And it could end somebody's life. You may not have meant to do it. You may not have meant what you said, or what you put in that letter that was passed around, or what you shared with your friends, or what you posted on a Facebook page, or what you sent them anonymously on one of those message ask service things, which I don't agree with, by the way. You may not have meant it, but it affected them in a way that they felt out of control, like it would never get fixed. And after they decide that they have no other choice but to run away to a place where they can never return from, you can't take that back. And I don't understand this mentality lately. This is going to be a really long video, and I'm so very sorry. I don't understand this mob mentality that we have lately, where everybody thinks that their opinion is better than everybody else's, where they feel like they have to comment on everything and that they have to put somebody down because they're different, or they look different because their skin is different, because their sexuality is different. I don't get it. I have been under the worst stress and the worst anxiety for the past at least 6 months to a year. Not because of things that are directly going on in my life. I mean, I have a bunch of stuff that I'm stressed out in my life, but because I read so much online about people being bullied, about people being hateful to others for no reason, about people just being cruel. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand the mass negativity. I don't understand the name calling. I don't understand the humiliation. I don't get it. And I'm not sure if it's a strictly social media problem, because you're safe behind a computer screen, or you think you're safe behind a phone. You're not face to face with this person. You can hide behind your computers and your keyboards and your tablets and your phones and your game systems and your anonymous ask services. You can hide behind all of that and say whatever you want and think that it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, it's going to matter, because it's going to affect the person that you're saying it to. And that needs to stop. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand what has happened to our world that we live in to make people so cruel and to make people think that it's okay to be so hateful and conceited and just mean. Now, I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about the most serious thing that I want to address, and I saved this for the end of the video for this reason. So if you are triggered anyway by self-harm, whether it be, I'm not even going to list the ways, but everybody knows what self-harm is. If you're triggered by self-harm, if you're triggered by suicide, if you're just any of that, feel free to stop the video now. I'm not going to make you watch it. It's up to you guys. But I want to talk about it. And I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to include as many links to hotlines under the video, in the description, this down here, as many as I can, because I know that it's not just America, it's all over the world. I'm going to try to find as many hotlines and as many help services, text services, Facebook groups, as much as I can find for you guys. I'm going to try to find. But I want to talk about suicide. And I don't even really know how to begin, really. I've been affected by it. I have had to talk people out of ending their lives before. And when I say that that was the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life, that was the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life, convincing somebody that their life is worth it. And when somebody reaches that point, it's so sad. It's so sad that somebody thinks that there's no other option than to end their life. Like they have no way out. And when you get to that point of just nothing, and you feel like there's nothing else that you can do, that must be a terrifying place to be in. And I hope that I am never in that place, because it must be really lonely. And I'm here to tell you that it gets better. I know that that's a cliche thing to say, and everybody says it, but it gets better. I can't tell you how, because every scenario is different. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's reason is different. But I want you to know that there are people, other people in the world, who feel the same way that you do. And I'm so sorry that you feel like this. I am so sorry that you feel like you have no other option than to end your life. If somebody else brought you to this point, if somebody else is the reason that you feel this way, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. The fact that another human being can drive someone to feeling like they are worthless and like they shouldn't exist is sickening to me. If it's because of a mental illness, if it's because of depression, if it's because of anxiety, if it's because of bipolar disorder, the list goes on, please get help. Please get help. There are so many outlets. There are so many ways to seek help for this. Whether it be talking to somebody, anybody, a stranger even, whether it be medication, whether it be going to therapy, which I guess is talking to somebody, whether it be finding something that you enjoy, that you love to do, just to distract your mind for a few minutes. Do it. Please do it. Because your life is worth it. I know it doesn't seem like it right now. And I know that you think that nothing is going to ever matter, that you don't matter, that nobody's going to miss you, but I can promise you that there is somebody in the world that will miss you. Even if it's one person, that person will miss you, and their life will not be the same without you in it. Your life is priceless. Your life is irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. And I want you to know that no matter what happens, it gets better. It gets better. You're going to find something that will pull you out of this dark place. It may take a while. It's not going to happen overnight. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take work on your part and the people around you's part. But the first step is asking for help. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not be okay. And I know that it's so hard to admit that you need help. And it's so hard when somebody says, "Hey, are you okay?" Your automatic response is always, "Yeah, I'm fine," or "Yeah, I'm okay." It's okay to say no. It's okay to tell them, "No, I'm not okay." And if they want to listen, fine. If not, then go find somebody else who will. Because there are people out there who will listen. I want to convey this message so strongly to let you know that you are important and you are loved and you matter. You matter.